this is my mortgage payoff journey. This is real. This is my real life, and this is what I'm going through. And I hope that I can look back on this when this is all done and just be like, wow, I made it through 100% of those hard days. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. It is officially the month of March, which means we are in month 42 of 60 with trying to pay off our mortgage. In just 18 short months, we could be mortgage free. This month, things have gotten a little real, and I'll talk about why. Just to immediately address the elephant in the room, because that's just the type of person I am. On President's Day, I was off of work and coming home, a couple of my friends from work that I'm in a group chat with sent an article that said that Capital One was basically going to merge with Discover, which is who I work for. And from then on, honestly, I felt a lot of confusion. I'll start off by saying my thoughts regarding my place of employment are my own. They don't reflect the company that I work for, anything like that. They're solely my own thoughts. With something like this going on, of course, the first thing that everyone thinks about is layoffs. Social media posts I've seen, even people who are completely unrelated to the situation who just comment on things. They just comment a lot of things like get ready to get laid off and layoffs. So for that, I say, if you're someone who comments things like that, the last thing that people probably think about, like the people's mindset who could actually get affected by stuff like that. If you are someone who comments on stuff like that or anything, you never know who's reading that stuff. And sure, maybe people's intentions are good with posting things like that or commenting stuff like that, but it was a foggy day. Even going into the next day, I couldn't even get through my shift. I went through my first 3 hours of my shift and I couldn't hold it together because it's scary, unknown, just completely out of left field. Like you just have no idea. So yeah, that was my President's Day. All we could really do at that time was read the articles and just try to figure out what was going on because it was a company holiday. I felt a lot of things. I was just, honestly overall hurt that it wasn't something that we were told directly from our place of employment, but more so we had to find out on social media. This wasn't something that they had intended to be released this early. And it still has to go through a lot of things, like regulators have to approve this and all these things. It's not final, and we don't even know if it's going to happen at all, basically. And it's still long. It could be a year before we find anything out just because of how soon this information was released. So where does that leave me? Unsure, uncertain. Ultimately, what I came to after I took that second day off of work, so that was Tuesday, and then went back Wednesday, just overall in a better headspace, knowing that I can only control what I can control. And there's nothing that I can do to change the outcome of whatever this is. There's nothing that I can do. I have to live with whatever is decided. So obviously being on a mortgage payoff journey, I have no idea like what that means for our mortgage payoff journey. But you bring yourself back to reality and you're just like, we can still pay our bills. We're going to be okay. I'm very thankful that we're a 2-income household. And, when stuff like this happens, you ask yourself, have I done everything I possibly can to set myself up for something like this? Because, as people who work a 9-to-5, there's always that possibility that something could happen to your job. You hope that that doesn't happen. You don't go around every day assuming that you could get laid off or lose your job or lose income, but it's all possibilities. So I ask myself, have we done everything that we can for a time where we could possibly lose income? And have we done everything that we could for ourselves? And the answer is 100 times yes. When we got married over 8 years ago, we probably would not have been okay at that time because we were in six figures of consumer debt and making significantly less than what we're making now. I mean, also with the rate of inflation, maybe it evens itself out, honestly. But we worked hard for years. Like, we were exhausted, working hard for years and years and years to pay off consumer debt and put ourselves in a better financial situation. It's not just paying off consumer debt, it's lowering your expenses. It's bringing your car payments from $620 to zero. If you have an income that is, say, for example, $4,000 a month, and maybe that $620 is the difference between you being paycheck to paycheck and not being paycheck to paycheck. But not even just that, we had student loan payments that were due, collectively, it was a lot of money. It would bring that $600 monthly payment of car payments and then student loans that could bring you over $1,000 for sure. And I remember being like in the office back in 2018, which was our last full year of paying on consumer debt. And my coworkers talking about like getting food, like lunch, eating out, or whatever they're going to spend their money on, whatever they're going to buy. And I may have said something like, oh, I would love to like eat out or something, just thinking out loud. And they're just like, we'll do it. And I'm like, well, we're trying to pay off our debt. And they're like, oh, well, okay, pay off your debt. Say that because you have temporary sacrifices for long-term gain. I feel like, yes, we've done everything we can to set ourselves up for this. Lowering our expenses was the main thing. And now where we're at, even if I were to completely lose my income, we could fully survive on just my husband's income because our expenses are so low and then some. I'm happy with where we're at with that. Moving forward, I could be talking about layoffs and for no reason. We have no idea at this point what's in our future, whether that's layoffs, whether that's raises, whether that's more opportunity, or things completely stay the same. What I'm hoping for is just at this point, just everything to completely stay the same. Hopes is that, we can continue paying our bills and then some. There's hopefully no impact to our mortgage payoff journey. And in 18 more months, we can still be mortgage free. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm going to keep living my life the same way right now. Do everything we can to get our mortgage as low as possible. Worst case scenario, we can still pay on this mortgage for the rest of the year. How expedited we're paying things now. Every month, our end date of our mortgage goes down or goes back 4 months. So for example, let's say today my mortgage end date is September of 2031. In a month from now, it would be May of 2031. Doing the math, by the end of the year, that could still put us at a great spot even if we pay till the end of the year, even paying the minimum payment starting 2025 and onward, we could still be done within 2 to 3 years. I think that we could still afford to even pay extra, even on one income. Not as much, obviously, but at least enough to still make a difference, which I'm still hopeful about it all. We're still on track and we're still planning to have a paid off house within the next 18 months. And just hope and pray that with my employment, things can stay the same. You might wonder, well, hey, why don't you go out and look for another job? If you guys have been watching for a while, I've been trying to look within the company for the past, 8 months now, and nothing. When it comes to looking outside of my place of employment, it's hard because I work from home fully remote, and today in March of 2024, there are not a lot of companies that still do that. They make the employees go back hybrid or in the office completely. And obviously, I am going to be the most comfortable at home and it's the most easiest. Obviously, I want to stay home as much as possible. And even if there is another place that is fully remote, am I going to get paid the same? I only make really what I make now at the company because I've been there for over 8 years. I've made raises over time that I'm super thankful for and just comfortable where I'm at. I know that for someone like me who doesn't have a college degree or, anything but experience, really, it can be hard to start off someplace making as much as I do now. Not even to think beyond the mortgage payoff and things that we want to do with our money after then, invest more, everything. You just need extra income to do that. I would love to someplace be in a position where I could make the same amount of money that I do now without working, but that's also just a fantasy that you can really only manifest with my words now and the things that I'm saying. Speaking of investing, we did hit a milestone here, actually just right at the end of February, which was officially hitting 50,000 on our 401k. Another reason I'm super thankful for my job is not only do they have a 5% match, but they also give you an extra 3% of your prior year's salary, like once a year. So in February, they give 3% of what you made in 2023, which boosted me up to over 50,000. You know, that's a great milestone. So we're super happy about that. We have been contributing 10% for a while now. Helps it a lot. So obviously the goal is once we pay off the house to contribute even more. I definitely hope that nothing changes with our employment so we can still fully do that and then some with our money. Also contributing to our kids' 529. We did not do much in 2023. That's, of course, because we're contributing to the mortgage. We did do $400, which my state is a state that lets you, basically, it's a tax deduction for your state income taxes. So it didn't increase our refund a whole lot, but a decent amount. Definitely makes me want to contribute more, even though we're paying on the mortgage now. Like, it really makes me want to contribute more in 2024. Because obviously you'd rather contribute to your kids' future than paying taxes to the government. But yeah, we did file our taxes already. We got a refund. The refund all went to other taxes that don't automatically come out of our paycheck, basically. It's good to have that money and be responsible for what we need to do with it, but basically we didn't see it. So back to the mortgage. We did send our normal $4,500 to the mortgage. The amount that went to interest was $218. So the amount that went to principal, $4,380. Super thankful for that. As I've already mentioned, now when money's going to the mortgage, knowing what we know now, just the uncertain future, any money that we can pay that's more than the minimum, I'm super thankful for. It's just a different feeling when you're just getting closer and closer and you're able to pay extra and you have the money to do so. I think that last month I kind of touched on like a water softener that we wanted to get estimates for. We did get an estimate. It was like the one estimate we got was like $2,600. With it not being something that is just like dire, we're not looking to like do it right now. Would love to do things that are like not super necessity right now, but we're just not at that place. So we are going to cross our fingers and our toes that nothing happens to our water heater like other people have talked about them having issues with their water heater possibly due to hard water in our area. But for now, we're going to let it ride. Another thing I don't really like about water softeners is just like reoccurring costs that could happen. That's not something I'm looking forward to. We definitely plan to get one eventually. One thing I will say that I told my husband that, you know, like I want to preface this by saying I'm so thankful to have income, have a job, work from home. But things have just been, I feel like ever since that whole thing happened last year with me being burnt out from work, me having like being fully depressed because of everything that was going on, I just feel like it really shifted my mindset about work in general and just kind of opened my eyes to just everything, feeling like you're in a rat race, like forever just working so much. I think that maybe I would feel better about the whole thing if I like worked significantly less, but that's not an option for us right now. So I felt like with this whole news, the whole situation with us possibly merging with another company, it should be understood that employees are nervous and scared and things like that and want to vent. And I just kind of feel like for my manager, I just didn't feel like it was a safe space to really talk about it, like in a group setting, which I understand that we don't want to stress out other people, but I guess we're all getting the same information. We all see the same thing in the news and things like that. So it's just like, if I was a manager, I would really just let my agents or employees speak their truth. If you want them to stay positive, like I probably would end the conversation with, let's stay positive because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But I just didn't get that vibe. And so I've been having issues, I guess, kind of like with my manager and us just not understanding each other, basically. I just think that we're not on the same page with a lot of things. It's unfortunate, but that hasn't been necessarily helping. But luckily, with working from home, I don't have to speak to them on any given day. I've definitely communicated with my job, like, I want to stick to my job responsibilities and nothing extra. Like, they try to keep us engaged by doing certain things, like sometimes like games, like that we all do, like over our like Zoom call, whatever. I'm just not into it. I'm just not feeling engaged. And especially just with the uncertainness of everything. Like, I don't want to play games. Like, I just want to come to work and do my job, make my money, and go home. So definitely something that I could not have predicted for the month of February. I hope that you all's February was better than mine. I don't know what to expect for the rest of this year, but I'm just going to keep living my life and keep continuing to control what I can control, going along for the ride. Let me know if you made it to the end of this video. Comment what you think about today's video. I try to keep everything as real as possible. I feel like there's a lot out there online, YouTube, social media that just doesn't seem authentic or realistic at times. And this is my mortgage payoff journey. This is real. This is my real life, and this is what I'm going through. And these are the thoughts that I have. Trying to make it through, whether that's mentally or making it to the finish line. There's a lot that's gone into it. I hope that you all can appreciate me being authentic, and I hope that I can look back on this when this is all done and just be like, wow, I made it through 100% of those hard days.